As you've seen, we've got a lot to discuss.
A lot to do, and I want to emphasize the last point you made, working together. Absolutely. We are not coming to dictate or lay down the law.
Well, the White House says New Zealand and the United States are also working together to expand their partnership in space and promote a free and open Indo-Pacific. And joining us now to discuss this and more is John Ullyot, Republican Strategist and former National Security Council Spokesman under President Donald Trump. John, welcome back. Always so great to see you.
Great to be with you, Tracy. Thank you.
So a lot to talk about, but I want to start off with the EU cutting almost 90% of Russian oil imports. How significant is that?
Well, that's going to be by the end of the year because right now they're shutting down the actual shipping in the next month, and that's about a third. And then when you get more that comes online, when they actually from Germany and Poland cut off the actual pipelines as well, that's when you're going to get to 90%. But it is significant because that is the source of Putin's power and his money all comes through oil. It's basically a one product economy, and so once they shut that down by 90%, take them offline, it's going to be very tough for him, in addition to the other sanctions that he's facing in the international community. So this will put maximum pressure on him at the right time, where we're trying to pressure him to get realistic and come to the table and end what he's doing in Ukraine.
Yeah, and let's talk about that a little bit more, about what's happening in Ukraine. I know Russia is continuing its attacks in the Donbas region. What more can you tell us about that, John?
Well, Putin is trying to build a land bridge and have them actually be part of Russia that would go from Russia inland all the way down to Crimea that they already have as part of their territory right now. So what he's doing, the problem is that he's unable to do that because we're past 3 months, we're into the 4th month of the war. And what happens is he thought it was going to be over in 72 hours and he'd be able to take Kiev and then essentially just do this. He's now having to essentially destroy a bunch of towns, bunch of cities really along that region to create that land bridge. And so he's facing a lot bigger resistance, and there's no end in sight, unfortunately, because the Ukraine, they're never going to accept giving away their territory, and Putin, it's going to be a real climb down, a real embarrassment for him if he doesn't get that goal. So they're really at a loggerheads right now, and there's no end in sight. So
yeah. I was going to ask you, how long do you think this is going to last? I guess it's really hard to tell. What's the end game here for Russia?
Well, the end game for Russia is once going to get that land bridge, but the problem is that they're not down to Crimea, but the problem is that the Ukrainians are fighting a lot harder. So the end game here for Russia is either they change the ground game right now, the results on the ground to make Ukraine come to the table and accept that. That's very unlikely to happen. So it's just going to go on for months until maybe he feels the pain through this 90% energy embargo, essentially, or energy export embargo that is going to be imposed on him, and then he'll come to the table possibly at that point.
Yeah, I want to switch gears here.
Sure.
I want to talk about Taiwan, and they say about 30 Chinese warplanes entered its air defense zone. What does that signal, and how concerned should we be about this?
Well, it signals that this is once again an outgrowth of Biden's trip to Asia, where he had said that it seemed like he was announcing a new policy of the U.S. that we were absolutely going to defend militarily Taiwan. We have never gone that far, not since we had not since the late 70s. And so that seemed like a change in policy. The White House walked back his comments, as they so often do, which we understand from a report on NBC that's really annoying Biden, that he's being undermined by his own staff in some ways. But anyway, back to Taiwan, is that what happened is we had some lawmakers that visited there in Taiwan, which is a good sign. That was led by Tammy Duckworth, a Democrat, and so it was good that she brought a delegation over there, because we're Taiwan's only big brother or buddy that they have in the world who's theoretically going to defend them. And so the more that we can, through our lawmakers and through visits like Alex Azar did under Trump in the last year, and others have high-level delegations going over there, it really shows China that we're serious and that we're not just going to abandon Taiwan, even though the White House sometimes suggests that after a strong Biden statement.
Yeah. So much more we can talk about. Unfortunately, we're out of time. John, always great to see you. Thanks for coming on.
Great to be here, Tracy. Thank you.